Welcome to BBC Rare Coins, your ultimate destination for everything about the world of rare, valuable, and historic coins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss out on any of our rare coin discoveries. Top 1. Ever thought your spare change could be worth a small fortune? Well, it might just be time to dig through your coin jar because one seemingly ordinary coin, yes, a quarter, is worth an astonishing $83,000. Meet the 1965 USA quarter dollar. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin from the 60s, but this one is far from ordinary. The 1965 quarter dollar carries a rare secret that's making it one of the most sought-after coins in the world today. The 1960s were a turbulent time in America. The country was deep in the civil rights movement, the Vietnam War was escalating, and American society was undergoing dramatic changes. Amidst these monumental shifts in history, the U.S. Mint was busy making a critical change in its coinage production, one that would go unnoticed for decades. While Americans were dealing with the social upheavals of the era, something big was happening in the world of currency. It would be years before collectors and numismatists would realize just how important that change was. For years, American quarters were composed of 90% silver. It was the precious metal that defined the value of these coins. However, by 1965, there was a growing shortage of silver in the U.S. economy. This shortage led the U.S. Mint to make a bold decision to reduce the silver content of its coins, including the quarter, to just 40%. This change was meant to help combat the declining silver reserves and was part of a broader push to preserve the country's metal resources. While the transition to a 40% silver quarter was significant, the real intrigue began when the Mint made a rare error during the production process. Some quarters from 1965, rather than being struck with the intended 40% silver alloy, were accidentally produced with a full 90% silver content. The result was a small group of exceptionally rare coins that would go largely unnoticed at first, but would eventually become the holy grail for collectors and investors alike. For years, these silver quarters remained buried in circulation, often mistaken for their less valuable counterparts. It wasn't until the early 1980s, when a handful of these rare coins were identified, that their true value started to surface. And when the news broke, collectors scrambled to get their hands on one. Today, a 1965 quarter with the 90% silver content can fetch an eye-popping $83,000. Yes, $83,000 for a single quarter. The value is driven by the rarity of the coin, combined with its historical significance. In essence, this is a coin that not only represents a turning point in American currency but also holds a deep connection to the socio-economic climate of the mid-1960s. But what makes this coin even more valuable is its condition. Like any other collectible, the state of the coin can drastically affect its price. A coin in mint or near mint condition, with sharp details and no signs of wear, can command a far higher price than one that's been heavily circulated. The beauty of the 1965 silver quarter lies not just in its composition, but in the fact that very few of these coins were preserved in pristine form. The more perfect the coin, the more coveted it becomes. A coin dealer or numismatist would tell you that the grade of the coin is of paramount importance. A higher grade, usually defined by the clarity of the design, the crispness of the mint marks, and the preservation of the coin's luster, can make a significant difference in value. Coins in mint state, meaning they show no signs of wear or aging, are often sold for tens of thousands of dollars, while those in poorer condition can still fetch impressive sums, though much less. So, how do you identify a 1965 silver quarter from the others? It's all in the details. First, check the edge of the coin. While most 1965 quarters were made with a copper-nickel clad composition, the rare silver version will have a distinct, shiny silver edge. The edge is a telltale sign of the coin's true material composition. A simple test with a magnifying glass should reveal the difference. Furthermore, you can tap the coin lightly and listen to the sound. The silver quarters tend to produce a higher pitched, ringing sound, while the copper-nickel versions have a duller, less resonant sound. This simple method has helped countless collectors spot rare, high-value coins hidden in circulation. The 1965 silver quarter is not only a rare and valuable find, it also represents the golden age of American coinage, a period marked by rapid change and shifting national priorities. The decision to change the composition of the nation's coinage was no small matter, and the mistakes made by the US Mint during this period have led to some of the most significant discoveries in numismatic history. But why did the Mint get it wrong? Well, the 1965 coinage overhaul was rushed, with changes made in response to the silver crisis. The process was hurried, and errors like the accidental silver coins were a byproduct of the frenzy. In total, it's believed that only a small number of these silver error coins were produced, making them an incredibly rare piece of American history. Today, these coins continue to captivate the imaginations of collectors, investors, and coin enthusiasts alike. The allure of the 1965 silver quarter isn't just its impressive price tag, it's the rich history and the sheer rarity of these coins that draw people in. Each one of these quarters is a tangible connection to a past era, a piece of American history that has stood the test of time, and while the price tag of $83,000 might seem unbelievable, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Coin collectors often speak of the thrill of hunting for rare pieces, and the 1965 silver quarter has become the stuff of legends in the numismatic world. With its distinctive error and its association with the changes of the 1960s, this coin is a perfect blend of history, rarity, and value. So, if you happen to come across a 1965 quarter in your pocket change, don't dismiss it as just another piece of currency. Take a closer look. You might just have a rare silver treasure hiding in plain sight. And who knows? That quarter you find could very well be worth more than a house or car. $83,000 to be exact. In the world of coin collecting, the 1965 silver quarter has become a symbol of unexpected wealth and the incredible potential hiding in the most ordinary of places. It's a reminder that sometimes, treasure isn't buried in the sand or locked in a vault, it's sitting in your pocket, waiting to be discovered. So, keep an eye out for those 1965 quarters. You could be holding on to a fortune without even knowing it. Top 2. Have you ever wondered if the coins you've been tossing into a jar for years might hold hidden treasure? Well, you might want to take a second look at your old quarters, especially if you happen to have one from 1972. Believe it or not, some 1972 quarter dollars are worth up to a staggering $78,000. Yes, you heard that right, $78,000 for a single quarter. But what makes this coin so valuable, and how can you identify one in your collection? Let's dive deep into the mystery behind this incredible coin. In the world of numismatics, there's always the chance of finding a rare gem among your pocket change. While many coins pass by unnoticed, some quietly gain value over time, often due to subtle errors or unique characteristics that make them highly sought after. One such coin is the 1972 US quarter dollar. To the average person, it might just seem like another quarter from the early 70s, but to coin collectors, it's a piece of history with the potential for an immense payday. The 1972 quarter dollar, a glimpse into history. The year 1972 was a significant time in America's history. The country was experiencing a cultural and political shift. The Vietnam War was winding down, the Watergate scandal was beginning to unravel, and the world was transitioning into a new era. The 1972 quarter, struck by the US Mint, was a reflection of this changing time, as it was part of the regular coinage series in the early 70s. However, hidden within this routine production was something rare that would not be discovered until later. What makes this specific 1972 quarter such an attractive piece to collectors is the presence of a rare double die obverse error. This unique mistake occurred during the minting process, and it affected only a select number of 1,972 quarters. The error causes the design on the obverse, front side of the coin to appear doubled. This means that the inscriptions, like Liberty, In God We Trust, and even the date 1972, appear as though they've been struck more than once, creating a noticeable, almost blurry effect in the design. This double die obverse error is a result of a misalignment in the coin dies during the minting process. Essentially, the die that was used to stamp the coin was improperly aligned, causing the design to be transferred to the coin multiple times, resulting in the double strike appearance. As a result, only a limited number of these error coins made it into circulation, and that's what makes them so rare and valuable today. What makes the 1972 quarter worth $78,000? Now, you're probably wondering, why is this coin worth so much? The answer lies in its rarity, condition, and the specific era that it carries. A normal, run-of-the-mill 1972 quarter would only be worth face value, just 25 cents. But a 1972 doubled die obverse quarter. That's a different story entirely. The main reason behind the $78,000 price tag is the extreme rarity of the error. Of the millions of quarters minted in 1972, only a tiny fraction was struck with the doubled die. Experts estimate that only a few hundred of these error coins exist today, making them highly desirable to collectors. The scarcity of the coin combined with the intrigue of its unique minting error has propelled its value into the stratosphere, but it's not just the error that makes this quarter so valuable. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Coins in mint state, meaning they're in pristine, uncirculated condition, can fetch significantly higher prices than those that have been heavily circulated. Coins with minimal wear, crisp detail, and no noticeable blemishes can demand prices far beyond what you'd expect from a regular quarter. For example, a 1972 quarter with a double die obverse error in excellent condition has been known to sell for around $78,000 at auction. That's right, this coin could be sitting in your collection or even in your spare change, waiting for you to discover its true value. How to identify a 1972 double die obverse quarter? Identifying a 1972 double die obverse quarter is relatively simple if you know what to look for. The key is to carefully inspect the inscriptions on the obverse side of the coin. Here's how you can spot the error. Look at the date. The most noticeable feature of the double die error is the doubling of the date, specifically, the 1972. The numbers will appear slightly off-center, with a ghosted or doubled effect. Check the word Liberty. Another area where the doubling is most apparent is the word Liberty. If you observe closely, you'll notice a second outline or a shadow effect around the letters, which is a clear indication of the double die error. Examine In God We Trust. The lettering on the motto, In God We Trust, is also affected. The words will appear to be doubled, with noticeable separation between the original strike and the misaligned strike. Use a magnifying glass. If you're still unsure, use a magnifying glass to closely examine the coin. The doubling effect will be much more visible under magnification. If you spot these characteristics on a 1972 quarter, you could be holding onto a coin that is worth thousands of dollars. But remember, the coin's condition is equally important. A coin that is well preserved and shows minimal wear will command a much higher price than one that's heavily scratched or tarnished. The fascination with the 1972 quarter. The 1972 double die obverse quarter has become one of the most iconic coins in the world of numismatics. Collectors are drawn to its unique story and its connection to a pivotal moment in American history. The fact that it carries an error that occurred during the minting process only adds to its appeal. For coin collectors, finding one of these coins feels like striking gold, and when it's in top-notch condition, the payoff can be astronomical. In the world of coin collecting, there's an ever-present hunt for rare, valuable coins. The 1972 double die obverse quarter has become a coveted item for serious collectors. It represents both the allure of the chase and the excitement of discovering a piece of American history. Coins like these aren't just worth money, they're also worth preserving, as they tell a story about an era in the past, the mistakes made during production, and the fascinating world of numismatics. Conclusion: a quarter with a fortune. So, the next time you sift through your change jar or check your coin collection, take a moment to examine your 1972 quarters carefully. If you happen to stumble upon one with the double die obverse error, you could be sitting on a treasure worth $78,000. In the world of rare coins, the 1972 double die obverse quarter is a shining example of how something as ordinary as a quarter can transform into an extraordinary find. Its rarity, unique minting error, and historical significance make it a sought-after gem for coin enthusiasts. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual coin enthusiast, this coin is a reminder that treasure can sometimes be found in the most unexpected places. So, keep an eye out for that special 1972 quarter. Who knows? You might just be holding onto a rare piece of American history worth a small fortune. Top 3. You might want to take another look at that pocket change. One of the most remarkable finds in the world of rare coins is the 1990 USA quarter dollar, and this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth up to an incredible $66,000. That's right, a 1990 quarter, which many people wouldn't give a second glance, could be hiding a small fortune. But how, you might ask? Let's uncover the mystery of why the 1990 quarter dollar has become one of the most sought-after coins for collectors. At first glance, a typical 1990 quarter might appear like any other. After all, it's part of the standard coinage series that the US Mint produced, right? But hidden beneath its seemingly ordinary surface is a story of rare errors, minting mishaps, and a huge payout for lucky coin hunters. So, what's the catch? Well, the secret lies in a very specific variety of off-center strike error that occurred during production. The mystery behind the 1990 quarter dollar. The year 1990 is often remembered for its pop culture moments and economic growth, but it's also a year that holds an important place in the world of numismatics. The US Mint was busy producing millions of coins, including the familiar Washington quarter. While most of these quarters made their way into circulation without incident, a rare group of them was struck with a significant error that would go on to make them incredibly valuable to collectors. This error is known as the off-center strike. So, what exactly is an off-center strike? In short, it's a minting error that happens when a coin is not properly aligned with the die during the striking process. This causes the design on the coin to be off-center, meaning that part of the coin's design, whether it's part of the eagle, the text, or even the date, gets cut off, leaving a visibly misaligned and incomplete image. In the case of the 1990 quarter dollar, only a small number of coins were struck with this off-center flaw, and these coins have since become highly prized by collectors. The beauty of the 1990 off-center strike quarter is that the error is highly visible, making it a perfect specimen for numismatists who are willing to pay top dollar for a coin with a unique story behind it. Why is the 1990 off-center quarter worth $66,000? You might be wondering, why on earth is a 1990 quarter worth such an astronomical amount of money? The key factors that drive the value of this coin are rarity, condition, and the specificity of the error. While many coins can have minor imperfections, not all errors are created equal. The off-center strike on a 1990 quarter is particularly valuable because rarity of the error. Out of the millions of quarters struck in 1990, only a handful were made with this error. It's this rarity that makes them highly collectible. Coin collectors know that when it comes to minting mistakes, the more unique the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectability. Coin errors like the off-center strike are highly sought after by enthusiasts and investors because they are a tangible link to a mistake made during production. This rarity, combined with the fascinating history behind the error, makes these coins extremely desirable. The 1990 off-center strike quarter has become a sort of treasure among numismatists. Condition and grade. Like all collectible coins, condition is everything. A coin in mint state, meaning it has been well preserved and shows little to no signs of wear, can dramatically increase in value. The closer the coin is to perfect condition, the higher its worth. Some of these 1990 quarters in exceptional condition have been known to sell for up to $66,000, while those in poorer condition might still bring in several $1,000s. Unusual and unique design. The off-center error doesn't just make the coin rarer, it also makes it visually striking. The incomplete design makes the coin stand out in a way that perfectly struck coins cannot. Imagine holding a quarter where the image of George Washington is only partially visible, with parts of the letters from E Pluribus Unum or quarter dollar cut off. It's a conversation starter and a true collector's piece. How to identify the 1990 off-center strike quarter? If you think you might have a 1990 off-center quarter in your collection, here's how you can identify it. Examine the design. The most obvious characteristic of an off-center strike is the misalignment of the design. The letters, numbers, or parts of the coin's image, like Washington's face or the eagle on the reverse, will appear shifted or missing. Sometimes, the design is cut off entirely on one side of the coin. Check for symmetry. An off-center strike typically causes the design to appear shifted, meaning the center of the coin won't align with the middle of the design. Look closely to see if the date, motto, or portrait looks off-center or crooked. Use a magnifying glass. If you're unsure, a magnifying glass can help you see the imperfections more clearly. The shifted design will be much easier to spot with magnification. Edge check. Another telltale sign of an off-center strike is the edge of the coin. Often, these coins will have an uneven or incomplete edge because part of the coin hasn't been fully struck. Consult an expert. If you think you found one of these rare coins, it's always a good idea to have it appraised by a professional. Coin experts can help you verify the authenticity of the error and assess its value. What makes the 1990 quarter so special? There's more to the 1990 quarter than just its minting error. The appeal of these coins comes from their uniqueness. Each one is a literal piece of history, a reminder of the human element in coin production. In a world where nearly everything is automated, these types of errors are becoming increasingly rare. The fact that an off-center strike survived to become a part of modern coinage makes it all the more special. It's a glimpse into the imperfections of the minting process, something that many collectors and investors find fascinating. Moreover, the 1990 quarter has gained traction because of its connection to the broader numismatic world. Coins like this one bring people together through the shared passion of collecting and preserving history. The hunt for such rare finds has sparked a wave of interest in the 1990 quarter among collectors, driving prices higher and higher. Conclusion: your quarter could be worth $66,000. So, the next time you come across a 1990 quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a close look at its design. If it has a doubled or off-center appearance, you could be holding onto a coin worth a small fortune, up to $66,000, depending on its condition and the severity of the minting error. The 1990 off-center strike quarter has quickly become one of the most coveted coins in the world of numismatics. Its rarity, historical significance, and the simple beauty of the error make it a favorite among collectors and investors alike. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual coin enthusiast, finding one of these coins can feel like winning the lottery. Top 4. Could your spare change be worth thousands of dollars? What if I told you that a 1992 USA quarter dollar, a coin you might have tossed aside or forgotten about, could be worth a jaw-dropping $64,000? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, it's true, and this particular quarter is causing quite a stir in the world of numismatics. But what makes this coin so special? How did a simple 1992 quarter become such a sought-after treasure? Let's dive into the fascinating story behind this incredibly rare coin and how you could be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. The mystery of the 1992 quarter dollar. The year 1992 marked a milestone in American history. It was a time of economic recovery, political change, and cultural shifts. But amid all of this, a rather unassuming coin was struck at the US Mint, a coin that would go on to spark a wave of excitement among collectors and investors alike. The 1992 USA quarter dollar is not your run-of-the-mill coin. While most 1992 quarters made their way into circulation without any issues, a small number of them were struck with a very specific and highly sought-after error, the close AM reverse. This error is a result of a misalignment during the minting process, where the A and M in America on the reverse side of the coin are too close together. Now, to understand why this error is so valuable, we need to go back in time a bit. The 1992 close AM error was a manufacturing mistake that resulted in a distinct difference between the 1992 quarters and the regular 1992 coins produced that year. This error became apparent only later, as collectors began to notice that the letters in America were unusually close together, a feature that was not seen on other quarters from the same year. What makes the 1992 close AM quarter worth $64,000? Now, you're probably wondering, why is a 1992 quarter with a simple letter error worth so much? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and the unique nature of the error. To put it simply, while the 1992 quarter was minted in large numbers, only a small handful had this specific close AM error. This makes the coin extremely rare, and in the world of numismatics, rarity is one of the most important factors that drive a coin's value. Here's why the 1992 close AM quarter is so valuable. Rarity of the error. Of the millions of quarters struck in 1992, only a very small percentage of them carry this close AM error. Coin experts estimate that only a handful of these rare coins are in circulation today, making them highly collectible. Collector demand. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for rare errors, and the close AM quarters are considered a holy grail find. These error coins represent a unique piece of history, a rare mistake in the minting process that resulted in a collectible item. As a result, they are in high demand among serious numismatists. Exceptional value for condition. Like with any collectible, condition is key. A mid-state or uncirculated coin, meaning it has little to no wear and is in pristine condition, can fetch a significantly higher price than a worn or damaged coin. The closer to perfect condition the coin is, the higher its value will be. The 1992 close AM quarter has been known to sell for upwards of $64,000 at auction, especially when it's in pristine condition. Historical significance. The 1992 quarter is already an iconic coin due to its role in American currency. However, the close AM error gives it an additional layer of intrigue. The mistake happened during a period of significant transition in the U.S. mint's production process, which only adds to the coin's historical value. For collectors, owning one of these rare error coins is like owning a tangible piece of American history. How to spot the 1992 close AM quarter. If you suspect that you might have one of these rare 1992 quarters hiding in your collection, here's how to identify it. Examine the letters on the reverse. The most distinctive feature of the close AM error is the proximity of the A and M in the word America on the reverse side of the coin. In a standard 1992 quarter, these letters are spaced further apart. However, on the close AM error, the A and M are noticeably closer together. This is the key identifying feature of the error. Use a magnifying glass. If the difference isn't immediately visible to the naked eye, using a magnifying glass will help you see the close proximity of the A and M more clearly. Compare with a standard 1992 quarter. If you have a regular 1992 quarter handy, compare it with the one you suspect might be the close AM error. You should see a clear difference in the spacing of the letters on the reverse. Check for mint mark variations. If you find a 1992 quarter with a close AM error, it will typically be a Philadelphia minted coin, denoted by the P mint mark. However, some collectors believe there may be a few examples with the D mint mark, Denver, though these are much rarer. Consult a professional. If you find a potential 1992 close AM quarter, it's always a good idea to have it appraised by a professional numismatist to verify its authenticity and get an accurate valuation. Why are collectors so obsessed with the 1992 close AM quarter? In the world of coin collecting, there's always excitement surrounding rare finds, but the 1992 close AM quarter has captivated collectors due to the sheer rarity of the error and the story behind it. The 1992 quarter was minted during a transitional period at the US Mint, and this small mistake, one that many people never even noticed, has become the focal point of a passionate search by coin enthusiasts. The thrill of discovery, combined with the high potential value of this error coin, has made the 1992 close AM quarter one of the most attractive and sought-after finds for collectors in recent years. As more collectors search through rolls of quarters looking for this rare error, the demand for the 1992 close AM continues to grow, pushing prices even higher. Conclusion: your quarter could be worth $64,000. So, the next time you find a 1992 quarter, take a closer look. If it has the close AM error, you might be holding onto a coin worth up to $64,000 or more. Whether it's tucked away in a coin jar or sitting in your collection, this rare quarter is a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. The 1992 close AM quarter serves as a reminder that sometimes treasure can be found in the most unexpected places. For coin collectors and investors, it's the perfect combination of rarity, history, and value that makes this coin so desirable. If you have one, you could be holding onto a piece of American history worth far more than you imagined. Top 5. Imagine reaching into your pocket, grabbing a quarter, and realizing that what you're holding is worth $49,000. Seems like a dream, right? But for some lucky coin collectors, this is a reality when it comes to the 2002 USA quarter dollar. This isn't your average quarter, and you won't find this one in the Coinstar machine or at your local grocery store. The 2002 quarter dollar, with a rare and specific error, is making waves in the world of numismatics. So, what's the story behind this astonishingly valuable coin? Let's take a deep dive into the mystery of the 2002 USA quarter dollar and how it went from pocket change to a collector's dream worth $49,000. The 2002 quarter dollar, what's the big deal? At first glance, a regular 2002 US quarter might seem like just another coin you can use to grab a coffee or pay for parking. But this seemingly ordinary coin holds a special secret. You see, most 2002 quarters are fairly standard, featuring George Washington's portrait on the front and the eagle on the reverse, as you'd expect. However, a few of these quarters were struck with a rare error, an error that has turned this particular year of quarters into a treasure hunt for collectors. The key to unlocking the value of the 2002 quarter lies in a minting mistake that occurred during production. What happened was a very specific die clash error. A die clash occurs when two dies used in the minting process, one for the obverse and one for the reverse, make unintended contact with each other, leaving strange marks or even a partial design of the opposing side on the coin. In the case of the 2002 quarter, these die clashes caused a series of overlapping design elements that were never meant to be there. The result: a quarter with unexpected, unique markings that have made it extremely valuable to the right collectors. Why is the 2002 quarter dollar worth $49,000? You might be wondering, what makes this error so special, and why is a 2002 quarter worth $49,000? The short answer is rarity, uniqueness, and the high demand among collectors. Here's why this 2002 die clash error coin is so valuable. The rarity of the error. While the US Mint produces millions of quarters each year, errors like this one are incredibly rare. Only a few of the 2002 quarters with the die clash error were produced, making them extremely scarce and highly coveted among collectors. Coin collectors go wild for rare, unique errors, and this particular one checks all the boxes. Collector demand. Error coins are highly sought after because they represent something exceptional, something that didn't happen according to the original plan. The die clash error on the 2002 quarter creates a striking and visually interesting piece that collectors are eager to add to their collections. When demand for a rare coin like this meets the limited supply, the price naturally skyrockets. Condition of the coin. Like with any collectible, the condition of the coin plays a massive role in its value. A mint state coin, meaning it has been kept in pristine condition with little to no wear, will fetch a significantly higher price than a coin that has been circulated extensively or has noticeable scratches and dings. Coins with a 2002 die clash error that are in perfect or near perfect condition have sold for $49,000. Making them some of the most sought-after error coins in modern history. The fascination with minting errors. There's a certain allure to minting errors. They're like little pieces of mistaken history. When a coin is struck with an error, it becomes a tangible representation of something that went wrong in the minting process. Collectors love these types of coins because they're a rare glimpse into the process of creating currency. The 2002 die clash error is unique in the sense that it shows how two dies accidentally overlapped, creating an intriguing mix of designs that would never have been intended. How to identify the 2002 die clash error quarter? So, how can you tell if you have one of these rare 2002 quarters? Here's what to look for. Look for unusual marks. The most striking feature of the 2002 die clash error is the presence of strange, overlapping marks or partial designs from the opposite side of the coin. This could include faint impressions of the eagle from the reverse side appearing on the obverse side, or vice versa. The most common signs of a die clash error are unusual lines, designs, or ghost-like images where they shouldn't be. Examine the obverse and reverse. The die clash error is not always limited to just one side of the coin. You'll often find that the designs from the obverse, front, and reverse, back, sides bleed into each other, resulting in partial features from the opposing side. For example, you might see part of the eagle's wing appearing where George Washington's face should be, or fragments of Washington's portrait overlapping with the eagle's talons. Check for uneven strikes. The overlapping designs from the die clash often result in areas of the coin being struck more heavily than others. In some places, the design might look a bit more blurry or smudged. This is another clue that your quarter could be the error variety. Use a magnifying glass. If you're unsure, a magnifying glass can help reveal subtle signs of a die clash error. Under magnification, the overlapping marks will be more visible and easier to identify. Consult with a professional. If you think you found a 2002 quarter with a die clash error, it's always a good idea to have it appraised by a professional coin expert. They can confirm the authenticity of the error and give you a more accurate assessment of its value. The allure of the 2002 quarter dollar with die clash error. What makes the 2002 quarter so desirable to collectors is not just its rarity but its history. Coins with minting errors are viewed as tangible mistakes, and they represent a rare glimpse into the process behind making currency. When it comes to modern coins, finding one with such an error is like striking gold. These coins have a story to tell, one that shows how something unintended can turn into something incredibly valuable. The 2002 die clash error quarter has captured the attention of both seasoned collectors and newer coin enthusiasts. It represents a blend of modern numismatics and the excitement of discovering a unique error. For those lucky enough to find one, the payoff is big, with some of these error coins fetching $49,000 or more in auction. Conclusion: a quarter worth $49,000. So, the next time you reach into your pocket and pull out a 2002 quarter, think twice before you spend it. A die clash error quarter could be the rare find you've been looking for, and it could be worth $49,000. Whether it's tucked away in a jar or sitting in your coin collection, this coin is a hidden gem that could change your financial future. The 2002 die clash error quarter serves as a reminder that treasure can be found in the most unexpected places, even in the smallest details of everyday items like coins. If you have one of these rare error coins, you could be holding onto a piece of numismatic history that is worth far more than just 25 cents.